Hello, Chloe. Thank you. Everybody likes this hat. How are you, Chloe? Good. Hello, Jaja. Okay, so I'm still a little bit sick, but I'm here. I will try to answer your questions if you have questions. All you need to do is just think of a question. Hello, Mustafa. Is it cold? It's pretty cold, yeah. Yesterday was -5. Right now it's 1 C. But it's very windy, so it feels much colder. Thank you, Patrick. I feel mostly better. Mostly. I still have a bit of a cough. I don't know. Maybe I'm dying. All right, I'm here. I'm waiting for questions. See, this is how it works. I sit here, I wait until I get a question, and then I answer. But I can't answer before you ask a question. So if you want answers, I want questions. I'm still waiting. I don't understand. Do you guys like to look at me? I don't think I'm that much to look at. I don't really sing and I don't really dance. And if I did sing and dance, you wouldn't like it. Why on back... What? Why on back phone is plane? Where is there a plane? I don't see a plane. Huh? I'm confused. I don't pilot, no. I don't know where you saw a plane. I don't have a plane. Move right or left. Okay? I'm a drummer. Ah, I think you meant the cymbals. You're seeing the cymbals. Yeah, those are called cymbals. Which dialect in America is my most favorite? Mustafa, I don't really care. They're all fine. There are some accents that I like more, but just because they're interesting, you know? So I like the New York accent, the Brooklyn accent, the Bronx accent, the Boston accent, the Rhode Island accent, the New England accents are kind of interesting, some Southern accents, a good Texas accent can be nice to listen to, but I don't really care. I don't judge accents based on good or bad, just like music. I like music. They're all good. Just a cold, just a chest cold, not a flu. I don't have a fever or anything like that. I just have a bad chest cold. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Maybe I'll just read my book until you ask me a question. Thank you, Hajar. Thank you. I appreciate it. I will be fine. The world will go on. Colds happen. I don't get sick very often, but when I do, it's usually pretty bad. So it's okay. Do I use any textbooks when I teach? Yeah, depending on what I'm teaching. You know, I usually use textbooks more when I'm teaching grammar. Things like grammar I use a textbook for. But if I'm not teaching grammar, then I don't use too many textbooks. But I have many. I have too many books. I probably have at least 300, maybe more books about English. Can I tell you something about Christmas? Okay, I'll tell you that Christmas originally was called Saturnalia. Christmas was actually, it's kind of a funny story. The Roman Church, the church basically decided to take a holiday that was a Roman holiday and make it into a Christian holiday. And this was one of the ways that they would convert people to Christianity, was by changing their holidays. They would take a day that's a holiday. Like, for example, Halloween. Halloween was a holiday of another culture, and then the church came in and took it and said, we're going to make this a church holiday. So that's what they did. So Christmas was actually originally the Roman holiday called Saturnalia. And a lot of the traditions of Christmas actually come from Saturnalia, which is named after the god Saturn. Let's see. Saturnalia, traditions, Christmas. Like ornaments. Christmas ornaments, that's a Saturnalia thing. Gift giving. When we give gifts, that was a Saturnalia tradition. Candles. Put candles in the window. That's a Saturnalia tradition. Having a big feast. I mean, granted, every holiday has a big meal, so maybe that's not really, but let's see. Using greens like Christmas trees and pine trees and any kind of pine or evergreen, that's a Saturnalia tradition. So it's kind of funny, but a lot of Christmas actually comes from the Roman holiday Saturnalia. Okay, let's see. Would I mind pronouncing the words buck and bucks? Bucks. Okay? B-U-C-K-S is just like B-U-X. The pronunciation B-U-X. Bucks. Okay? And then box, big mouth, box and boxes. Box and boxes. And books and book and books. Book, books. Okay? So, buck, box, book. Okay? So, buck, box, book. Ba-ba-bu. 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 There you go. Bucks, box, books. You can say that many, many times. Sleep well, Patrick. Hello, Ali. Tell us about your field in university. I studied a lot of things a long time ago, Mustafa. It doesn't really matter what I studied a long time ago because it was such a long time ago. But I studied many things. When I first went to university, I studied music and as a drummer. And then I studied history and sociology. And I even studied some cooking, culinary courses because I liked cooking. So I've kind of done a little bit of everything. I mean, not a little bit of everything, but I've done a lot. Okay, I've done a bunch of different things. But my main focus, I think I would say, would be on history and culture and people. Philosophy, too. Saturnalia with a U. Saturnalia. Yeah, Saturnalia. Hello, DK. Thank you very much. Can I tell you the best way to teach boys 6 to 11 in elementary stage in a foreign country? Well, teach boys English or teach boys what? Are you asking? I'm not sure what you're asking. So you want me to give you some tips about teaching English, or are you having trouble just controlling a classroom of boys? Teaching English, okay. Yusuf, have you watched me before? Do you know about any of my theories or my methods or my ideas? Yes, but only a little. Okay, well, what I would say is, Yusuf, here is my YouTube channel. I think you should go start watching a lot of my videos, and you'll hear me answer questions from everybody. Okay, so you'll hear me answer questions that are good for adults and good for kids, but you'll hear me give a lot of answers, and you'll hear me talk a lot about reading and writing and listening and speaking and vocabulary and grammar and pronunciation and all of these things. Okay, so watch my YouTube channel. You can also go, Yusuf, there's a really great website that you can use. You're going to thank me, okay? Because this website, all your students will enjoy playing with this website. It's called GamesToLearnEnglish.com. Go to GamesToLearnEnglish.com, okay? Let me show it to you. This is GamesToLearnEnglish.com. It's a free website. Yes, it's free. Okay, it's free. It's good for beginners to intermediate level. It's not good if you're advanced. If you're advanced, it's probably too easy for you. But if you're a beginner or intermediate learner, then it's great. Okay, look how many games we have. These are all games for learning English. Let's look at what we have. So here's one about grammar. Here's one about similes and metaphors. Here's about family members and days of the week. Halloween, Merry Christmas, animals, weather. Let's see. These are memory games. Here's one about the future tense. Here's one about daily routines, speaking phrases. Okay, Hangman, the game Hangman's very popular. Conditionals. Okay. The months, time, vocabulary, perfect tenses. Look how many games, okay? And they're fun and they're easy. Let me show you. Here's one, right? So here's a game. So it's about parts of the body, okay? So here we go. Belly. Which one is belly? Ah, this is belly. Bones. Bones over here.
Tongue.
Tongue.
Nose.
Nose. Okay?
Oh.
So, it's easy and it's fun. All right? So there you go. Try that. And then the other thing I will say is you should go to my blog. My blog is for anybody who's intermediate to advanced. If you're an intermediate to advanced learner, then you need to read my blog. Okay? All of my best answers are on my blog. Okay? All right, let's see. Is it Merry Christmas or Happy Christmas? It's Merry Christmas, but nobody cares. If you say Happy Christmas, I don't think anybody cares. Anybody who cares, I don't know. They have a sad life. Okay, Merry Christmas is fine. Happy Christmas is fine. Joyful Christmas is fine. Whoopity-doo-dah Christmas is fine. I don't care, and nobody should. Hello, Lucy. DK, I don't know what you mean by McDonald means shop. I'm not sure what you mean. You want to learn academic English. If you want to learn academic English, then yes, go to my blog and read my blog, Carl. And you can also go to my website. And on my website, let me show you that. Hold on. Where's my website? Here's my website. And if you go to my website, it's also free. You have to sign up with an email. You have to give me an email, but it's free. Okay? But if you go up here to resources, you can buy lessons from me if you want to buy lessons from me. Okay? Book a lesson and buy a package. Okay? But you also can go up here to resources. And if you click on resources, hold on, log in. Hello? Google. Hold on. I gotta log back in. Wait a minute. I think I already had it open. How do I not have it open? Ah, there. Okay, I'll have to log in later because I can't remember my password right now. But anyway, if you go to my website, there's a page called Resources, and if you go there, you'll find everything you need to study on your own. Okay? I've tried to find all the best free resources for studying English, and I put them all on my page. So if you want to study grammar, go to my website. There are many links for you to study grammar. If you want to study reading or writing or listening or speaking, go to my website. There are many, many things. If you're working on the TOEFL or the IELTS, go to my website. Okay? How to pronounce words beginning with PFKT letter. So DK, I can't really show you with illustrations, but if you just want me to show you the proper way to pronounce those letters, it depends on the word. But for example, pot, p p p, p p p, p p p, p p p, p p p. That's what we learn, DK. We learn BBB, ba ba ba, CCC, k k k, DDD, da da da, FFF, GGG, g g g, HHH, right? So we practice each one of them just like that. I think you know how to do them. Okay? So the P, a P is a popping sound. I want you to say the word pop. Can you say pop? Pop. And when you say pop, it makes a puff of air. Pop, pop, pop. Guess what, everybody? Let me show you something. In music, sometimes you see somebody with a microphone like I have. Here's my microphone. And have you ever seen one of these before? Do you know what this is called? This black thing here? Do you know what this is? This is called a pop filter. It's called a pop filter. What? You can't hear me? What happened? Wait a minute. Check one. You still can't hear me? No sound. Hold on. Settings. Microphone. Speaker. It's okay now. Okay, weird. So what I was trying to say is this thing is called a pop filter. This black thing. This is the microphone, and this is called the pop filter. Because if I don't have this in front of the microphone, when I say pop, 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 you can hear it. It's too strong. But if I put this in front of the microphone, it blocks that breath of air from hitting the microphone. Pop, 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 pop. So it makes it more clear because it cuts out that wind. So the point is, when you say a P, there's wind. P, 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 puh, puh, puh. There's a puff of air. Okay? So that's the P sound. The T sound, when you say a T, you should have a big wide mouth. T, T, T. Like you're smiling. T. I'm drinking tea. Okay? And what was the other one? F. F, you have to take the top of the teeth and curve them over the bottom lip just a little bit. F. Okay? All right. Let me go back and check the other comments. Why do you find me so charming? I don't know. I paid a lot of money for charming classes. If you can understand what you say, could you judge my listening level? If you can understand what I say, that means you can listen. But it means that you can listen to people who speak well. So, I try to speak well. That's why it's easier for you to understand me. But not everybody is very careful about their words. So, if you can understand me, you're doing pretty well. But it will get harder because not everybody tries to speak clearly. Okay? Most people do not. Okay. Let's see. You get confused with vowel sounds and stumbling over words sometimes, so do tongue twisters really help? Yes, I think tongue twisters definitely help. Tongue twisters, the secret to tongue twisters, you can't do a tongue twister well unless you exaggerate. So, for example, when I was a kid, I remember practicing Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. But I wouldn't exaggerate my mouth, and so if you say it quickly, then you mess up. You stumble on your words. Excuse me. So, but if you make your mouth very big, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. 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 I have to move my mouth a lot, but if I move my mouth a lot, then all of the sounds are clear. Okay? All right, now, what's my philosophy about living on earth? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's one. And two, to thine own self be true. This above all, to thine own self be true. Be true to yourself and treat other people the way you want to be treated. That's my philosophy about living on earth. Carl wants me to pronounce can and Kent. And he says it's quite confusing. But Carl, it's not confusing. Please listen to me. In English, even natives, sometimes we will not hear someone clearly if they said can or can't. So, maybe I'll ask my father or my brother, hey, can you pick me up from school tomorrow? Can you? Yes, I can. Right? Or he'll say, I can. But maybe I didn't hear him clearly. So I will say, I'm sorry, did you say can or can't? So what should you do? If you don't know if they said can or can't, what should you do? You should do the same thing that we do. You should say, I'm sorry, did you say can or can't? Okay? The proper pronunciation is can and can't. There's a hard T, but sometimes it's hard to hear that hard T. Sometimes people are speaking quickly, or they don't speak clearly, or they speak softly. So the T is hard to hear sometimes because it's so short. Okay? So, what should you say? You should say, I'm sorry, did you say can or can't? All right? The W sound, the lips get a round shape for W. So W is a confusing sound because the sound of what is W? W is this. Did you guys know that the letter W is actually the words W? Wow! That's what W is. It's W! Double U! There's two U's. Double U. So that's the pronunciation. Double U. W. That's the pronunciation. Why isn't it double V? Very good question. Because the Roman alphabet, the Latin alphabet, doesn't have a V. There is no V in the Latin alphabet, and that's where we got this from. Okay? English comes from many languages, but one of the main root languages that English comes from is Latin and Greek. Okay? And in Latin, there is no U. There's only a V. So that's why it's double U, not double V. Can I imitate a British accent? Not really. I mean, probably, right? I don't know. If I had to practice it, or if I hear somebody do it, when I hear it, I can repeat it pretty well. But if you ask me to just pretend to be British, I don't do that regularly, so I probably would not do it very well for very long. If I practiced, I'm sure I could, but I would never do that unless I was acting. Okay, if I were acting, then maybe I need to pretend to be a British person, so then I will learn to have a British accent. But if I'm not an actor, there is no need for me to learn a British accent. Okay? What do I explain about the etymology of stamp something out? Sure. To stamp something out, stamp, the word stamp has a few meanings, right? One meaning is like something that you use like for an official document, right? You stamp it, right? So maybe you go to the immigration office and they give you a stamp on your documents, right? That's a stamp. That thing that they use is called a stamp, okay? But the word stamp also is a thing that you can do with your foot. So if you do this, that's stamping it down. I'm stamping it. So stamping out something like the fire. Let's stamp out the fire. Oh no, there's a fire. Stamp it out. Like a stamp. Okay? In Spanish, it's called the double V because where does Spanish come from, John? Spanish is a Romance language. Romance means Roman, which means Latin. So Spanish and Italian and Portuguese and French and Romanian, those languages all come from Latin. So because I studied a little bit of Latin, it helps me understand all of those languages. I mean, I'm not fluent or something, but I can look at them and be like, oh, I think I know what that means. Okay? It's high time that you went there. Sure, that's a correct sentence. It's high time is not something we say very often here, but maybe in England they might say it more often, but it just means that it's past time. You should go, right? It's high time means that, like, you've been waiting long enough, okay? Is the Z sound in the USA and the British the same? I think it is, yeah. Well, yes and no. The way that they learn it, I think that they might learn it like more like a zeta. I think I remember seeing that before, but I'm not sure. I can't know everything. You had an Indian teacher who used to pronounce the W as a V sound. Yeah, many people have trouble with the W or the V. Yeah. That's what I meant, Zed. Yeah, right. We don't learn Zed. Zed comes from Greek. That's Zeta. Zed. Why is English not what, Libra? And over there, thank you, David, for telling me that you can hear me. Thank you. Why is it not the same as the Latin language? Well, it's not the same as the Latin language because English is a mix of many languages, okay? English started as a group of, we'll call them tribes, okay? We'll call them tribes, a group of people. There were different groups that came together. Some of them were called the Angles, some of the Anglos, the Saxons, and the Jutes were the three big tribes, and the Celts maybe, I think, too. The Celts don't get mentioned very often, but I think it's kind of sad that you don't say, I'm pretty sure that they were there at the same time, so it should be really the mixture of those four groups, the Celts, the Jutes, the Saxons, and the Anglos. And when they came together, that was the beginning of what we now call the English language. But the Anglos and the Saxons, those are actually Germanic tribes. So English is considered a Germanic language. Okay? So it has roots with German groups, okay, German peoples, we'll call them tribes, again, tribes, and Norse meaning the Northern European people, okay, all of the Viking type peoples, those people. And it also was the Roman Empire, was a big empire. So it controlled everything there. So that means the Romans used Latin, and the Romans were big fans of the Greeks. So they also knew Greek. So there's a big influence of Greek also. And then the later the English and the French, they used to fight all the time for hundreds of years. The English would fight the French, and the French would fight the English, back and forth. They would fight. And if your cultures fight each other and trade with each other and deal with each other a lot, then you mix languages. So, for example, when the French would win the war, now French is the language of the people, or at least of the rich people. Okay? So that means the French influence takes over. Then the English would win. Now the English influence takes over, right? So English is a mixture of English and Norse and Germanic and French and Latin and Greek all together. Okay? That's a big, long answer, I know, but that's the way it works. Osmani, did you have a question? What's your question? I don't think I saw your question, Osmani. If you have a question, then ask it. I don't think I saw your question. In China's senior high school English textbooks, we're taught that what modern English originated from and how it has developed. Oh, well, that's good. To be honest, most Americans don't learn that. I only learned that because I studied Latin when I was a kid. It just happened to be the language I chose, was the first language I chose was Latin. And then I started finding out about how English works and how this word comes from this language and this word comes from that language, and yeah. But most Americans are not really that clear about how English was formed. I would say probably most Brits aren't either, though. I mean, if the truth of the matter is, I would say a lot of common people probably don't really know how English was formed. Only nerds like me. Osmani, did you have a question? I don't see your question, Osmani. I keep looking, but I don't see your question. Do you want to come talk to me? Is that what you're saying? You want to come talk to me? All right. Let's try to talk to Osmani. Hello, Osmani, are you there?
Hello, hi.
Hello, how are you?
Hello. Hey, I'm fine.
Good, and am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Hello.
Hello, am I saying your name the right way? Can you hear me, Osmani?
Yeah, I hear you a little.
You hear me a little bit. The connection maybe is not good. Are you in Senegal?
Yes, I'm from Senegal.
Okay. Do you have a question for me?
Okay. I wanted to ask you one question. I want you to explain me when the river, do you know the river?
The river? Yeah, what about
The
the...
river.
Uh-huh. What about the
When
river?
the weather, when the river weather is up.
Okay.
What is the difference when it's up and when it's going down? I
Ah, so when a river is going up, we usually say that it's flooding if it's too much. Like it's flooding,
Yeah.
right? So that's a
Okay.
flood. So
yeah.
usually we just say the river is high or low today, right? So there's a
Right.
river that I go fishing. I like to go fishing.
Yeah.
And but the river, if the water is too low, there's no fish, so I can't go, right? So I have to look on my iPhone and I'll see, is the river high or low? If the river is
Yeah,
if the river is high, then I can go fishing.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so normally we just say high or low water. But if there's too much rain, then maybe we'll say the water is over the river. It's over and now it's flooding. That's flooding. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, to flood. FLOOD, flood. That's a flood.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a fun. I gotta get it like it. I like it not. You know, I gotta get it like it not.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. No problem. No problem. Is that all?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, that was easy. Okay. All right. All right. Well, take care, Osmani. It was nice to talk to you. Take care, my friend.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Yes.
Oh, excuse me. He was in Senegal, so yeah, maybe the connection's not so good there. But that's still cool, though. You know, the fact that I can talk to somebody in Senegal is still really cool. You know, I forget. I think we all forget. You guys don't. You just don't understand how. It's really crazy that we're talking to each other right now. Do you know that? Do you understand that it's really crazy that we have so many people from so many countries all talking to each other at the same time right now? That's really crazy. Yeah, anyway. What's the difference between British English and American English? Mohammed, there are many, 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 many differences. But, Mohammed, if you just type that question into Google, there are many websites that will show you the differences between English and British English and American English. Okay? There are websites. It's too many things. I can't tell you all of the things. There are too many differences. There are different pronunciations. There's different spelling. There's some different grammar. Okay? So there are many websites that can tell you about the differences between British English and American English. Okay? How old am I? I am older than the flowers, but younger than the mountains. That's my answer. Oh, my cough is bad. Okay, do you have a question? If you have a question, ask it. If you have a question, then ask. Ask, and I shall answer. Or I shall try. Mountain pronunciation. So technically the pronunciation of mountain should be mountain. However, most people, when they say the word mountain, they don't really pronounce that first N. So it's just mountain, mountain, mountain. So most people, when you hear them say the word, it sounds more like this. Like that, mountain. Okay, but it should be mountain. Okay, technically it should be mountain. There is an N in there. It's just very subtle. Okay? How can you enhance your fluency? Mohammed, there's an article I'm going to give you that you should read on my blog. Where is it? This is the complete guide to how to think in English. It's the guide to fluency. Okay? So go read that. Read that article. Okay? Do I need a nurse? Nah, it's just a cold. Colds happen. You know, in America, the American healthcare system is so terrible that I don't go to the doctor unless it's serious. That's the truth. In America, most Americans, we don't go to the doctor unless it's serious. I don't go to the doctor for a cold, ever. Ever. Nope. Why? Because it's expensive, 1. And it's a pain in the ass, 2. It's stressful, 3. It's not easy, 4. Okay? I know what easy healthcare feels like. It's not what we have. Okay? If it was easy, then I should be able to just walk in and see a doctor within an hour or 2, tops, waiting. And there should be no questions about how I'm going to pay for it or if I can afford it. And there should be no questions about insurance and whether or not they're going to cover the doctor, what the doctor wants to do. But here, everything is complicated. It's terrible. It's terrible. I hate the American healthcare system. We have the highest level of medical care. We have the best doctors and the best hospitals, but it's the most expensive, the most complicated, the most ridiculous, moronic, greedy system of healthcare in the world. There is no more greedy system of healthcare than the American healthcare system. I say that proudly. I will there is no argument. You can't make any argument against that. We have the most expensive healthcare system, but we don't have the best healthcare outcomes. How's that work? We pay more money for healthcare than anybody else in the world, but we have worse outcomes. So how does that work? It sucks. Yeah, it's not good. So how do I treat myself? Right here. I have my big mug full of apple nut tea that has honey and ginger and lemon in it. And I drink that until I feel better, and I sleep, and I drink, and I sleep, and I drink this, and I sleep, and I drink this, and I sleep until I'm better. That's how I fix a cold. Okay? But in your country, you have family doctors? I don't know what you're talking about. My family doesn't have a doctor. I mean, I have a sister. You're right. I do have a sister who's a nurse and another sister who's a doctor. And when I'm sick, I will call them. I will call my sister and say, hey, I'm sick. What should I do? Because I would rather call my sister and ask her than go to the doctor. The most expensive healthcare should match the most efficient treatment, but it doesn't. Private doctors. Okay, LeBron, but how do you pay for that? Do you know how much it costs to have a private doctor? And I don't know if some of you may think I'm rich, but I am not a rich man. Okay, I am not. I'm a drummer. Do you know any rich drummers? I don't. I know some famous drummers, and even the famous drummers I know, I wouldn't say they're rich. Can I explain how to use in the tree or on the tree? Okay, yeah, sure, Dan. In the tree is usually what we say for an animal, right? There's a squirrel in the tree. There's a bird in the tree. Yeah, the ball is stuck in the tree. Okay, on the tree is usually what we say about things like the leaves are on the tree. Okay, the leaves are on the tree. Okay, or let me think of another way to say on the tree. He fell from the plane onto the tree. Okay, but on the tree is not usually that common. There's not many situations that we usually use on the tree, except for maybe Christmas. We put decorations on the tree because we're putting them on top of, not inside of. In just 里面, right? Okay? 听得懂吗? Understand? What do I consider the greatest hero in the history of the USA? I don't consider heroes based on countries. I consider heroes based on humans. I don't care where, I live on Earth. So all the people on Earth, I'm proud of any of the people who are good on Earth. Those are the heroes of Earth. Okay? I'm not into this idea that the people in my country are such better heroes. No, I just think there are heroes and there are villains. That's it. There are good people and there are bad people, and that's true everywhere. So I don't have a greatest hero of the USA. There are lots of people here, but I don't think of them. They're not great because of that. That's not why they're great in my mind. It's not because of the country they're from. They're great because of the things they did or the ideas they held. Okay? Not because of the country they come from. Okay? We are all on a big rock flying through space. Let's see. I'm rich because I have you guys. Well, that's true. I do. That's true. I have people. That's right. That's right. In means inside. Yeah. Somewhat. Yeah. There's a $5 fee in India for booking an appointment with a doctor for normal people. Wow, I know that's a lot in India. In my country, if we catch a cold, we just go to the pharmacy. Right, that's what we do. We just go to the store and buy some cold medicine. So look, I have cold medicine right here. Cold medicine. Daytime cold medicine. Okay? Cold and flu. You get this from the pharmacy. No doctor. Okay? I take that and I sleep and I drink tea and that's it. On means on the surface of something. Yes. Yes. 上面. Yeah. We have Batman and Spider-Man. Yes, but we also have all the bad guys too. How to find true love. Don't look for love. Just remember that love takes two people. Two people who are complete. If you're not complete, you can't have love. So, your job is to make sure you are complete so that if you find somebody, you can have love. So you're wasting your time looking for the love. But guess what? If you find it, you're not ready because you didn't work on yourself, so you aren't ready, so you can't have love. So stop looking for love. Worry about working on yourself to make sure that you are a complete person so that when you meet the right person, you can have love. Okay? Because if you're not, you're just going to be two incomplete people who are trying the best they can to make it together. And sometimes it works out, but not usually. If you want to have a successful couple, in my opinion, in my years on this planet, the people who I've seen who are successful, those are the ones who are complete people when they are together. They're not half a person that's undeveloped. Okay? Open the floodgates. My question is about this. Is this common? Sure. Yeah, it's not uncommon. Yeah, it's not even just an idiom. That's a real thing. To open the floodgates is a real literal action that you do from a dam. Okay? When there's a dam for a river, right? Sometimes there's too much rain and the river goes up and that's too much water for the dam. So they have to open the floodgates to let the water over the dam so it doesn't break the dam. Okay, so the meaning open the floodgates is a real thing that we also use to talk about emotions. I opened the floodgates of my emotions. Okay? No money, no honey. Yeah, they say that, but what I would tell you is the honeys that want money aren't sweet. So no money, no honey. That's true. That's true. But the honeys that want money, they're not sweet people. All right, I'm sorry, but if your main concern is how much money a guy has, you're not a nice person. What if I did that to you? How much money do you have? Am I supposed to judge you based on how much money you have? Yeah, that's a very, very silly, silly concept. So, no money, no honey, but the honeys that want money aren't sweet. Okay? Have I ever seen a homeless person have a honey? Yeah, lots of them. Almost every homeless person I know has a honey. Because guess what? When you're poor, I guarantee you have someone. Because when you're poor, you need someone. So when you're poor, you get someone because you need to have someone. When you're rich, you have someone because you want someone. But usually, it's not for the right reasons. Rich people choose love for the wrong reasons most of the time. Most of the time. That's my experience. Okay? Okay, so let me check over here. Did I miss anything? No, I didn't miss anything. Good. How can you be good in English? 学，你是要学。我感觉现在你学中文还是英文吗？现在你都学吗？Was I a millionaire before? No. Never. Ever, ever. Oh, you don't know Chinese. Oh, okay. How can you be good in English? You can follow me and you can come here and you can watch and you can learn and you can listen and you can take notes and you can ask good questions. That's how you can learn here. Okay? About 88,000 people follow me on Hello Talk because they ask me questions about English. Okay? Am I rich or poor? In America, I'm poor, for sure. I'm a teacher and a musician. Why would you think I'm rich? Do you know any rich teachers? Do you know any rich drummers? What you see behind me is almost everything I own. You think I'm joking. Anyway. Okay, I'm still waiting for questions that don't have to do with whether I'm rich or poor. I'm poor. I'm rich in personality. How do you always enjoy your own company? I don't always enjoy my own company. No. I don't like myself often. I think it's important. I think it's a good thing to not like yourself sometimes, because if you don't like yourself, then you'll work on yourself. If you like yourself too much, you think you're great, so you never try to work on yourself to make yourself better. Right? It seems like I do. Sure, but I think everybody makes it seem like they like themselves. But I think everybody has things about themselves that they don't like. There are things about myself that I don't like, or that I feel make my life more difficult. You know, there are things that are just the way I am, that's just the way I am, but it does make my life difficult. Excuse me. Can I think of a way for you to become rich? Don't care about any people, and then you can be very rich. If you don't care about any people, and you don't care about ethics, and you don't care about morality, it's pretty easy to become rich, I think. You just have to not care about people, or morals, or ethics.太多。老师说 the one needs to become yeah 对啊。Can I explain it in Chinese? Oh, wow, that's going to be too hard. Let me think. Jia. 等一下，我想一想。我知道非常。我知道很多人他们感觉钱就是非常重要，他们是对，这是对的，可是等一下，我是Okay. Ooh. Okay. So. 我感觉，如果你的钱是很深的，我感觉你的 你的个性，你的个性是太尖的，听得懂吗？If you have a lot of money, if your money is deep, your personality is shallow. That's my experience. If your money is deep, your personality is shallow. And it's true almost all the time. Almost all the time. Almost every time I meet somebody who has big pockets, big wallets, they don't have a lot of culture. They don't have a lot of depth. They don't have a lot of knowledge. They don't have a lot of empathy. Yeah. Okay? Okay, yeah, I know my explanation was really bad in Chinese, but I think you're getting it. Why can you understand my Chinese, but you can't understand Chinese when Chinese people say it? Because I overpronounce things. I overpronounce things, and I speak like an American when I speak Chinese, so I have an American Chinese accent. Yes, I do have a bad cough. Okay, if I could be reborn, would I choose this Mark again with this personality and lifetime experiences? Sure. Sure. Yeah. Why not? You know? It could be worse. Could be worse. No one doesn't like money. I don't like money. I really don't. I don't like money because I know what money does to people. Everybody who has money becomes an asshole. That's true. I'm sorry, but it's just true. If you care more about money than you care about people, then you are what I just said. Okay? That's it. Alright? If you like money, good for you, but I like morals. I like ethics. I like humanity. Okay? I don't like paper and metal. It's paper and metal. It's paper and metal. Are you a squirrel? Are you a squirrel? Or are you more than a squirrel? Squirrels, what do? What do squirrels do? All they do is find nuts. They just spend all day just looking for nuts, just finding the nuts and gathering the nuts and eating the nuts and finding the nuts and burying the nuts, and that's all they do is just look for nuts. Is that you? Is that your life? Solid Dream says, but if you don't have money, you won't be able to live. But if you tell everybody that they must have money, then you make it harder for everybody because you encourage them to chase money. So when you encourage it by saying everybody needs it, we all have to have it, you must do it, you're creating a system that requires people to be bad because you're telling people you have to care about money more than other people. I reject that. I reject that. I will never, ever care about money more than I care about people. Even just one person. I would burn $100 billion like that to save one person. I would burn $1 trillion gleefully to save one person. Why? Because you should! It's paper and metal! It's paper and metal! You should burn it and not care. It's paper and metal. It's nothing. Uh-oh, Alyssa thinks I'm getting too deep. Yeah, but Alyssa, nobody asked me any questions about English. Or the only questions they ask me are like, how can I be good at English? and I get tired of answering the questions about English, so it's fine. As long as I don't go too crazy, and I think I'm still staying. Everybody knows I'm nuts. I'm an artist. All artists are nuts. I'm okay with that. But yeah, I would burn all the money in the world if I could. Why? Because exactly what we just said. Everybody thinks you have to have it, you need it. And because you've created that system, we are all killing each other for money. We're all killing each other. Solid Dream, how old are you? Can I ask you how old you are? I'm going to guess you're not very old. You'll get there. So if you have questions about English, then you can ask me. Otherwise, I'll just keep telling people about how much I hate money. There's no way to get out of the system. Hamza, you're probably right, but guess what? The system itself is not going to be there forever. If you didn't know that already, it's pretty obvious that the system is going to break pretty soon. Right? How many millions of jobs are going to be lost in the next 50 years? How are they going to figure that out? How are they going to pay people? Where are they going to get the money? The system is already going to break. So, you say you don't need money, but actually you are using it. Solid Dream, make a good point, please. That's not a good point. Of course I'm using money. Okay, that's not a philosophically brilliant point. Because I use it, that means that I'm a liar, I'm a hypocrite. No, okay? I can criticize it and use it. All right? I can criticize it and use it. Just like I can criticize my country. I still love my country, but I criticize it. All right? Don't argue with me about money. Don't argue with me about money. Okay? Move on. Move on! I'm not like you! Okay? Good God. It's so crass. Yeah, money, 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 money. It's so crass. Look up the word crass. You have to use it. If there was another way, if there was a better choice, I wouldn't use it, I'm sure. Yeah, that's exactly right, Mona. That's exactly right. Who created money? I'm not going to answer that. Go look it up. This is not a history class. I know who created money, but I'm not going to tell you. You can go find that for yourself. Okay. Money has been around since the barter system. But before money, we had another system called the barter system, where we traded things based on value, not on money. So I'll fix your shoes if you help me with my boat. It wasn't a perfect system, but it did work for thousands of years, as a matter of fact. I know how the world is working. No, I know what I think. That's all I know. I don't know how the world is working. I know what I feel. That's all I know. Okay? Like trading goods and services. That's exactly right. Yeah. Hajar. Oh, are you from Egypt? Yeah, you're from Egypt, right? The Egyptians had one of the most complicated and effective barter systems. They were big on barter, the Egyptians, the ancient Egyptians. They would trade this for that. That's what it means in Latin, quid pro quo. Quid pro quo. It's Latin. It means this for that. You give me this, I'll give you that. Yeah. Okay, we're getting into some very deep things here now. I don't know why you guys are asking me all these deep questions. Who am I? Who am I? I'm just a drummer. What do I know? But, you know, what I was just saying is this Hajar. As far as I remember, the Egyptians used a barter system for most of their ancient period. That they didn't have a coin or a system of currency for most of their history. That's my understanding, if I remember right. Yeah. So it did work for a long time. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, do you have a question? You should ask me if you do. It would be better if you didn't ask me questions that, you know, again, like, just remember, who am I? Okay? That's the question that Joe Rogan should say more often. Who am I? Okay. How can you speak like me? You would need a lot of time and practice and study, Sina. Okay? But you can follow me here and you'll hear many tips. Okay? Okay, guess what, guys? I have been here for about an hour and a half. It's been an hour and 25 minutes. So before I go, I want to give you guys, this is my YouTube channel. Go to my YouTube channel, watch the YouTube videos. I have 88,000 followers on HelloTalk. Okay? Sina, I have been here for 12 years, Sina. I have been live streaming here for 5 years. I am a real teacher. 88,000 people follow me and watch me. If you don't believe me, don't believe me. That's okay. But if you want to learn, then show up and learn. Study. Make notes. Ask good questions. Okay? Hello, Giuseppe. How are you? Okay? So, I have a website. Here is my website. Most people on HelloTalk don't have a website, but I do. I have a YouTube channel. Most people on HelloTalk don't have a YouTube channel, but I do. I have a blog. Most people on Hello Talk don't have a blog, but I do. So, if you want to learn, come and listen and ask good questions. But how can I be good at English is not a good question. You know it's not a good question. How can anyone answer that? How can I be good at English? Is shadowing good? Yes, it is, but you need to do it the right way. So you should go to this article and you should read this article about shadowing. I wrote that article about shadowing. Go read it. Okay? All right. I need to go because I'm still sick. So I'm going to go take a break. Okay? But, yeah. Look, guys, I know I'm weird. I'm an artist. Most artists don't care about money. It's part of being an artist. You can't really be an artist and care about money. You can't. You just can't do it. Okay? You can be a pop star, but you can't be an artist. All right? So, I know I'm weird. I know I'm like an alien. When you hear me talk about things like that, you think, that sounds crazy. That's crazy talk. You're right. It is. You don't have to agree. You don't have to believe me. But it is what I believe. Okay? All right. I'm going to go. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening. And I'll see you guys next time. Okay? Bye-bye. Christiane wants to know, what do I think about the Warner Brothers acquisition? I think free Luigi. That's what I think. I hate how, no, I think all the big companies are too big and they